Hello guys, this is Sean, and this is actually a series that I've been wanting to do for the longest time, and I thought I'd kick it off with something and let a few people that I'm able to contact get to vote on what the subject was going to be. And if you were one of the people who voted, you may have gotten a message or seen in the comments or something what won. And oh my gosh, the votes were swinging in the favor of this one, and it was really close between this, talking about sharks and all that, but that's going to be in the next vote. That'll be in the description below. I'll have a straw poll where you can go and actually vote, so I can see all of the votes instead of having to go through like a whole bunch of different mediums like Instagram and Twitter and just messages and Snapchat to see who voted what, so I can tally that up. But back on to the topic. Today's topic, we're going to be going over the idea of elephant emotions. And this is pretty amazing because I only knew like a few things about it before, and then I was like, well, since we're gonna make a video, I want to get more research. And in getting more research, I learned some pretty cool stuff. Like, I can't wait to get to that part. It's some elephants are ingeniously smart. But before I start talking about the whole elephant thing, yes, these are notes, not a script. Notes. Little points to keep me from going off topic. Because I could start on elephants and end up talking about why the sun shines. And now that I realize it, I forgot. Like from the state fair, I got these little, I don't know if you guys can see them, these little elephant things. I'm happy I got these now that I've read all this about elephants. Yeah, I might move that so I can see it better. But anyways, so where are we going to start? From my notes, not script, it says we're going to start off with the fact that elephants are highly empathetic. And if you don't know what empathy is, it's the ability to feel what others are feeling without them giving you, either with them giving you cues or without them giving you cues. And by cues, I mean like someone crying. You can, if you feel like sad because someone else is crying, that's still empathy. But another form of empathy, which is a lot harder to get, is where you start feeling sad because you can start to see that they might be feeling sad from something. And it's very amazing how empathetic elephants are, maternal and non-maternal, I can't speak. I know what words are. Maternal and non-maternal elephants will care for young. And that means like breaking up different things that could happen to young. For example, of course, scaring off predators that the young might not even see, but knowing, hey, that could hurt the baby, and chasing it off. But also, it could go into breaking up play fights without the young giving like any signal that they're being injured or that they don't like it. For example, like think about it like this. You see two kids playing, and both of them like sound like they're having tons of fun, but one of them's a lot older and could hurt the younger one. So you go over and you break up whatever's happening because you're like, hey, this might not end well. Stop. And that's basically what's happening. And we noticed that, and it was amazing because it's like they aren't giving any cues that they're like in any sort of danger or they don't like what's happening. Their parents are just like, hey, no, not now. And then you have the point where an elephant is distressed. Either this actually is caught on video quite a lot, though, from what I've seen, where baby elephants will, in an attempt to get water, will actually get stuck in the mud pits around the watering hole, and you'll see all of the herd like help to bring the baby out of the pit, or like the walls around the water are really high to where the baby can't climb out. So you'll see the elephants actually go over and try and lift the baby up with their trunks to get him over the ridge. And in even more shocking events, elephants that have been trapped in electrical fences have been known to be freed by other elephants who would break the fence. Amazing. They would either use their tusks to like try and rip open the fence, or they'll take branches to like break it like by force. and it's really amazing. And see, we already talked about escaping from holes, and also with like, um, I wouldn't really call this hunting or poaching, but when elephants like get tranquilized, like they have the tranquilizer dart in them, they can. They've been known like to go back to their herd and have those darts pulled out by other members of the herd because herd's like, hey, I don't like that being there. Let's get that off. And also they'll stand by the body while it's like in the tranquilized like sleeping state because they're like, hey, something could happen. Let's wait until it wakes up. And then on the let's flip the notes because I'm back on the wound side, they'll rub and spray dirt on the wounds of elephants after they've been like shot but not killed. And it's amazing because the dirt is supposed to dirt is like dirt baths are really soothing to animals. And they'll rub the I know what words are. I promise. I can words. I can. And they'll rub dirt over like the wounds and they'll spray them either with water or dirt and they'll just rub them to sort of soothe the pain. And also they go through the struggles of helping dying friends. For example, an elephant was found staying with a friend who was dying of not sickness. It was like no, it was a wound that the friend was dying from, and the elephant had stayed with that friend for 28 hours to be sure that it was like to try and help it get up, and it was trying to lift it up with its tusk. It was like pushing it to try and get it to stand up, and it had stood there and it had been there for 28 hours. It only left to get a drink from a nearby like pool of water, and it just kept like weeping and grieving and sending out distress signals. And when the rest of its herd came, I don't remember why they had gotten separated. The hunting that sort of split off the group. That's what happened. And after the rest of the group came back, they all joined in trying to lift this elephant up before it ultimately died of its wounds. And even after it died, they had stayed there for almost the rest of the day. And it was really touching because when the elephants left, they had, you notice, literally their whole demeanor had dropped. They had hardly used their trunks in anything. They're literally just dragging along the ground. Their ears were down. They had this sense of being depressed because that one had died. But the more interesting thing happened before they left. Before they had all left, after that one female had died, the rest of the oh my gosh, my nose. You good? Yeah. No, not yet. Not yet. We good? Now we're good. The rest of the herd had went off and they had broken branches off of trees and grabbed a whole bunch of grass and laid that on top of the dead elephant. They were practically burying the dead with foliage. It was amazing, and they had also like grabbed dirt and stuff to put on top of the body, and none of it was just thrown on top of the body. It was all carefully placed. Even though it looked random to any person who would have seen it, it was very carefully placed. And you saw the matriarch would go and she'd place something, and then the female who was there with that elephant for a while would grab whatever the matriarch placed and move it to where she wanted it to be for that elephant. And it's amazing how in-depth elephants are. Oh my gosh. But on a lighter note that's not extremely depressing about elephants dying, they'll celebrate births. When a female elephant gives birth, they'll all celebrate. They'll bring that female gift. Like, they'll give that female some of their food, and it's amazing how close to people elephants are. And it's awe-inspiring at the fact that it's only recently been, it's not even decided yet, that elephants have emotions. People are really like, I don't want to think that anything other than people have emotions. And I'm like, it's amazing. I mean, to scientists, I don't see the reason why they'd think that only humans can have emotions. Because, logically, we know that animals have been around far longer than humans. So why wouldn't they have the things that we have? I mean, they've been able to get it for longer. Why wouldn't... It was long debate for the idea that chimpanzees and other great apes had emotions. Why wouldn't we believe that they had emotions? Because we, as far as like the idea of evolution in the scientific community, why wouldn't they believe that, hey, we have emotions, why wouldn't they? I mean, we practically came from them, why wouldn't they have it? But that idea was, for the longest time, viewed as strictly human. Only humans can have emotions. No animals can. And now that's being blown out of the water, but I'm getting off topic. Let's pin that for something later. Um, mm, let's see, where was it? Oh, I talked about that. Wow, can't believe that. And now we're on to the last part, and this is the interesting thing that I really want to talk about. Elephants are extremely smart. They can figure a whole bunch of different stuff out. For example, in 1993, in, I believe it was South Africa, there was a fenced-in area, and they had a culling, and they had a, not culling, that's not yet, they had a they had fenced-in families of elephants. Now, after a while, it was decided they were going to have to cull out the elephants, like, by the families, because if you have too many elephants in this area, because it was also a crop area, if you had too many elephants, they're going to eat up all the crops. So they went in and they did one culling of a family, in this area. Oh my gosh, my eyes! I think I'm dying, but I don't even care right now because I'm getting through this video. So if like they did that one culling and afterwards they were gonna go do another one, but they realized there were no other elephants in that, like, in the area. And even though the area where they did the first culling of the elephants was prime elephant areas, that's where literally each family would end up going to ultimately, because that's where all the best stuff was. You had all the best fruits, all the plants and water. It was perfect. But they realized, even up to today, none of the elephants in that area go there. And scientists think that what happened was elephants have this way of sending low rumbling sounds through the ground that can span out for miles. And they think what happened was, when the first culling happened, elephants were sending out signals like, "Hey, danger! Don't go here. This isn't good." And all the other elephant herds in the area were like, "Oh, okay. I'm not gonna go there because they're killing elephants there. I'm not doing that." So basically, up to today, even though that place is still, like, logically an elephant haven, no elephants will go there because they know that's where the culling was. That's where I'm gonna die. That's where I'm gonna die, and let's just not stay there. So they've tracked some of the elephants there, and they'll go around it to get to places. They go, okay, say one elephant's here. Elephants are here, trying to get here. Culling spot is here. They'll go around that area to get to where they need to go. And it's amazing. I mean, they know, hey, this isn't good. And so that brings me to this last story, and I'm gonna end it here because I didn't think it'd be a 15-minute video, but who cares? It's amazing. This is beyond reason cool. So it was a few years ago, and I remember watching this video, and it was about the story of, it had to be Tennessee. And there's an elephant rehab center, and they had a female elephant who ended up just falling in love with the stray dog that always wandered into the center, into the rehabilitation center. So they had become friends after a while, and literally the dogs ended up being taken in by people who run the center, And every morning the elephant would go up to the people's house, like 'cause they had lived on the edge of the center, would go as close to to the people's house until the dog was released, and then they'd just go off for the whole day together. Now, there was this one thing that happened where, and it was really depressing. The dog ended up being killed by who knows what. Some people say it was coyotes or something else, but they had realized that the elephant had not done anything, like, after a while, and people didn't know where the dog was because they'd let the dog out for the day and it'd go out with the elephants and then it'd come back whenever it wanted to. And they'd realized the dog hadn't come back in a while, and they hadn't seen the female elephant up at their door. So they were like, okay, something's wrong. And when they found the female elephant, she had the dog wrapped in her trunk, dead. And she had like this low rumbling sound, and it was later like described as her actually becoming, like, had been depressed because the dog had died, and she had went and buried the dog herself. People didn't bury it. She had went and like dug up a spot and put the dog down and placed the foliage over it and the like dirt, and she had buried the dog herself, and it was amazing. But the really the amazing part that really sort of gets me is being like a rehabilitation center. There's more than just that one elephant there. So you had her, and she did that, and she became depressed. And then when they'd feed all the elephants, they noticed that the other elephants in this huge enclosure, they don't even have to see each other. The other elephants in this huge enclosure would go and give some of their food to her, because trying to warm her up, because her best friend had died and she's like not feeling anything at the moment. So they're going and giving her some of their food to help her feel better. And it's not, and I know some of you guys are like, some people who are watching this video because it was either sent to you or you found it and you thought animals can't have emotions. Think about this. What would the other elephants get from her being in a better mood? I mean, there are no other males in the group. It's literally an all-female herd. Well, it's not even really a herd because they just walk around by themselves most of the time because there's no reason for them to be a herd. And none of them are related. They're just randomly selected from, like, randomly pulled from zoos and circuses that can't keep them anymore, or people who keep them as pets and then realize that keeping an elephant as a pet is a horrible idea. So if your whole thing is animals don't have emotions because they only do things to get stuff from other things, this doesn't add up. What did the elephant get from the dog beyond like the joy of having a friend? The dog couldn't have given her anything. What would the other elephants get from giving her some of their food? They don't get anything in return. It's literally, it's amazing. Well, it's amazing how some people think that everything comes at a price everywhere. And even though that is true for us, like in the modern human world, that's not always, just because it's true for one thing doesn't mean it's true for all. Some animals really are altruistic. They don't have any me-isms. They aren't like, okay, I'll give you this if you give me this. There's some things that are really purely and honest. And I think that's where I'm going to end the video, because we're at 19 minutes and I really just wanted to make this a 10-minute video, and that's saw how that went. So please like, share, comment. Remember, in the description there will be a straw poll that you can go to vote on what the next topic is going to be. I'll have those up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.